Welcome to the In Shape Fitness Show. I'm Kim Watkins and I will be your trainer today. And the workout for this week is called a Derriere Dare. That's right, we are working the butt in a major way today. And we're going to warm up with a couple of moves and then get right to it. A couple things to remember as you are getting your body ready, standing up, starting to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, and just kind of mentally getting yourself prepared to do the workout, which will take probably about 25 minutes or so. Listen really carefully to how you move from the point of your initial stance and your foot position to the way that the speed and the way that you manipulate your limbs in each of the moves. It's very difficult to isolate the glute muscle group and do a lot with it unless you really focus on it. So I'm going to be explaining how you're going to do these things as you get started. Let's start with some jumping jacks just to warm up the body a little bit. Make sure your back is straight. Make sure that your tailbone is tucked in. You're going to jump wide out with your feet landing about double shoulder width apart, lightly on the balls of your feet. Keep a slight bend in your knee for shock absorption. I'm going to start the 30 seconds now. So go ahead and start jumping if you aren't already. Make sure that you're bringing your arms up over your head, touching at the top. And no wet noodles, right? So you really want to make sure you're controlling the arm movement. You have maybe a slight bend in your elbow, but you're really extending through the shoulder, warming up the back, warming up your abs, warming up your entire body. You're warming up your glutes, obviously. And a couple more seconds here, 10 seconds. Keep it going. Breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. Okay, now bring your feet together. Toes and heels touching. Presumably you're in your bare feet. I prefer when doing these workouts to exercise in your feet so that you really connect with your floor and can sense exactly where your feet are in terms of the four corners of the foot, right? So a lot of people tend to put a great deal of pressure on their heels, and then they tend to either depress the big toe down with the outside of the foot coming up a little bit, or the opposite of that. So just really make sure that you're using your entire foot and that your body weight is distributed evenly. Okay, the second move though, I want you to reach up over your head, press your palms together with straight arms where your biceps are beside or behind your ears, and just breathe. This is called an eye stick position, and it is simply meant to help you gain awareness of all of your muscle groups. I want you to contract the muscles in your hips and in your abs. Make sure your tailbone is tucked in. If you're a woman, you're doing a Kegel. The 30 seconds, by the way, is going, and you are really squeezing all of your muscles, pressing the palms together really, and so that no air gets through those palms. Really emphasizes the stretch in your shoulder, your rotational shoulder rotator cuff, and then really opens up your back, forces all of that space in your rib cage to diminish. It's really, really good for the body. Okay, so now that you're warmed up a little bit, here we go. We're going to start with some squats. We're going to do a squat with a pulse. So plant your feet shoulder width apart. Make sure that your toes and heels are in one line. They are parallel with each other. Your toes do not turn out. Now, when you sit down, you want to sit down and back as though you're sitting into a chair. You do not want your knees to go past the tips of your toes. So I'm going to start the 30 seconds now. Do a little pulse at the very bottom. Your thighs are about parallel with the floor, and then as you lift up, press your heels into the floor, squeeze your glutes. This here again, this very important for you to focus on squeezing your glutes as you come up and come all the way up. You'll feel your hip flexors fully extend as you come all the way up. You're about halfway through. Probably only do 5 or 6 of these in the 30-second period, but keep it going. And you're not going to stop, actually, because what you're going to do next is something called a sumo squat. We're going to come up on that right now, but don't stop pulsing. Don't stop squatting. As I explained to you in a second, you're going to switch from doing a pulse to doing one squat, and then as you come up, you're going to slowly lift the right leg up to the side, but don't turn your toe up. You want your foot to stay parallel with the floor the entire time. Okay, let's go ahead and start that. So squat down. As you press into the floor, you lift your foot up, right foot up off the floor, and as you lower the right leg down, you go right back into your squat, and you're going to lift the left leg up on the second go round, alternating from there. 30 seconds is going. Again, this is called a sumo squat, and it's not a kick. It's a lateral lift, very controlled, very slow, where you feel like, really, you should feel this in your butt. You really should. If you're doing it correctly, your foot is not turning up. So if your toes turn up, you're going to work your quad. When your toes stay flat, your foot stays flat relative to the floor, you're working the top of the leg and the back of the leg, the butt. All right, 12 seconds left. Going to pick it up in just a couple seconds here with a stationary shuffle coming up here in 3 seconds. Good. Now start pitter-pattering your feet on the floor. Up, pretty fast. Your hands are on your hips. Really want to get the heart rate up. You want to separate your feet about hip width apart. 30 seconds is going. This is a pretty simple move. Keep your back straight. Keep your abs engaged. Really focus on that squeeze so that your core is where your energy source originates. You really want to make sure that if you isometrically squeeze, you are squeezing your muscles in your core, then your heart's going to be more efficient. Your breathing is going to be more efficient. Everything works so much better when you can sort of keep that center point, that point of power, the point of energy. And you're doing great. Go ahead and lift your hands up now from where your hip position is, where your hands are on your hips. Lift your arms up in front of your face. You're still pitter-pattering. You're going to pick up the pace now for 30 more seconds. I'm going to have you do something called crazy monkey. And the crazy monkey is while you're pitter-pattering with your feet as fast as you can, like, it's a super fast shuffle, you're going to vertically chop your arms at the elbow joint. You're just bending your elbows, chopping your hands forward, and we call this crazy monkey. I can't see you to know if you look like you're a crazy monkey, but I will tell you that in the many times that I have people do this move, and I've had it, several clients do it today, it is it's a lot of fun to watch. So don't worry, nobody cares. Hopefully you're in your living room by yourself. But sometimes I do this with my 3-year-old daughter, and she absolutely loves it. And you're finished. Good, good, good. Okay, now using your wall or table, your desk or whatever as just a place to put your hand in case you lose your balance, stabilize your body weight on your left leg. Lift your right hip up just a little bit. We're going to do a lateral leg lift, right? So this is similar to the sumo squat leg lift, though your leg is straight the entire time. You're going to lift your leg up and slowly lower it back down. And once again, I'm starting the 30 seconds now, so go ahead and get started. Do not let your toes turn up. They're going to want to. It's going to be difficult for you to not let them turn up because your quad wants to do this work. It wants to help out, but you really want to keep the foot flat, parallel to the floor. That works the butt. You're halfway through with this standing lateral leg lift. We'll do the other side next. Very nice. 3, 2, and 1. And let's do the same thing on the other leg. I'll go ahead and start the 30 seconds now. Remember to just kind of lift the hip up a little bit. After you stabilize your weight on your right leg, lift your left hip up, and then start slowly. Again, move with control. You want to control both directions. You don't want gravity to help you out on the way down, and you don't want momentum to build and help you in both directions. You really want to keep complete control, and the way that you do that is to move slowly and think about that foot placement each time. It should hurt. or not hurt like, someone punching you in the face, but you should feel it. It should be an unpleasant, pleasant feeling. Last one, finish the one that you're on. Now go back to the other leg. So restabilize your weight on your left leg. Now what you're going to do is you're going to bend the right knee and lift it laterally. So you're lifting the knee up in that parallel plane and then kicking your foot out. Then bend the knee and put the foot back down on the floor. Let's start the 30 seconds. These are called standing lateral leg kicks. All right, so you're, again, lifting the knee as it's bent. You're bending the knee and lifting it up at the same time, and then kicking out your foot, locking the knee, then bending the leg again, and then putting the foot down. It's kind of a 4-step process, and it is very effective in targeting the glute. Very nice. We're going to do the other side in 8 seconds, so keep it going. Keep your abs engaged. I know it's easy now that you're standing, you're not moving too much. It is very easy to sort of soften up around the middle there. Just don't let that happen. Now we're switching sides. So you're stable on your right leg, left knee, bend, lift it up laterally, then kick out your foot, lock the knee, then bend the leg and put the leg back down. Okay, 30 seconds is going on this second side of the lateral leg kicks. And we're going to lay down on the floor after this. So you're actually graduating to some floor moves. Not a super aerobic workout, but, and then there's so many more moves that I really like to do in terms of targeting the glutes, but with the amount of time that I like to sort of isolate for this particular series and on this subject matter, we're doing some really good structural and like sort of fundamental work on the not just the big glute muscle, the gluteus maximus, but also some of those internal glutes muscles that are tiny and don't get a lot of action, but need to be strong in order for you to be able to enjoy a functional life that to do things in life. Okay, now lie down on your left side if you don't mind. We're going to do 4 lateral leg lifts on your side, on your left side, working the right leg obviously, and then you're going to turn over and do some other, or the same rather, 4 moves on the other side. So first your legs are straight. One more time I'm going to have you just lift the legs straight up, and one more time I'm going to emphasize to you, do not turn your toes up. So let's start the 30 seconds and move slowly. It's kind of like 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3 down. You really want to take your time. No quick maneuvers here to gain like someone like sort of establish a repetition sort of number that would make you feel good about doing 25 or 35 or 50 leg lifts. Does not matter at all. It's just 30 seconds and you're more than halfway finished, and you are moving with control, really squeezing the glute as you lift the leg. And very nice. Now bring your knees, sort of bend your knees and bring your knees forward like your body is a chair, right? So the torso and the thigh make a right angle, and then your thigh and your lower leg make a right angle. So this is called a clamshell. You're going to lift the legs straight up, keep the knee in one vertical plane with the other, the stable leg on the ground, and lift the foot, keep the foot in the same line with the lifted knee as well. And once again, you really want to just focus on keeping control, maintaining control throughout. 30 seconds is going, if I didn't say that already. You're doing great. You should really be feeling the butt. At this point, you should be feeling like you're doing some good work on that muscle group back there. Poor sad glutes, they don't get any action when you sit around all day. Even people that try to get up, and sometimes people that go to the gym, it's just not a lot considering the way that the body is sort of anatomically created. The glute is a pretty big muscle group, and it wants to be used. Okay, let's do the clamshell kick now. So now you're lifting up the knee with the foot, kicking the foot out and locking the knee, then bending the leg and lowering the leg back down. All right, 30 seconds is going. So do it again. Really focus on a smooth transition from the kick to the bend and putting the leg back down. Control your body. You're 10 seconds in. Plenty of time to establish enough work here to feel it And we're going to do one more move on this leg, and then you will take a break on this glute and work the other side. Coming up here in 5 seconds. Very nice. Okay, turn over. Legs are straight, and your feet are flexed. You're on your right side now. We're going to work the left leg. So lift up. Don't let the toe turn up, and lower back down slowly. We're at 15 minutes. I don't know why I was about to say 15 seconds. It's 30 seconds, and the time starts now. I think sometimes when I do these, I'll do 15 seconds on each side. Or maybe my brain had a little bit of a reboot of some sort. But you're halfway through. This leg should be feeling pretty fresh, considering it's had a couple minutes of a break there. Excellent, excellent. All right, now bring your knees forward, make yourself into a chair again, and let's do the clamshell on your left leg. So lift the leg up, make sure your foot's coming up and staying in line with the knee at the entire time, and then just make sure that you are moving slowly. Once again, moving with control. The 30 seconds is going. Almost finished here, actually. We're gonna do some hip bridge type stuff in a few seconds after this, and then we will 3 more seconds, by the way, and then we'll finish up with a couple of ab moves just for fun. Okay, now you're gonna do the clamshell kick. Once again, that means that you lift the knee and the foot at the same time, right? And then kick your foot out. Not super fast, but slowly and smoothly, and then lock the knee, and then bend the leg, and then put the leg back down all together. So it's kind of a 4-step process. We'll start the 30 seconds now. And lift, kick, bend, down. Very nice. By this point, you should be feeling quite the intensity of the type of work that you're doing for the glute muscles. It's funny, you can't really distinguish which of the glute muscles are actually hurting you, but you're getting a full workup on that muscle group, which includes, of course, the gluteus maximus, the gluteus medius, which is the top part of your rear end, a little bit of action in your hip, and then on the underside, the piriformis, and this muscle called the gemellus. There are 2 of them. They're tiny muscles on the obturator. All right, now lift up and pulse your knee in. I forgot to do this on the other side. Oh my goodness, we're gonna have to go back to the other side. So lift the knee up. Now pulse your left leg in towards your chest for 30 seconds. So it's just bring the knee in toward your chest and then go back to start, in towards your chest. 30 seconds is going. I will turn you back over and do this one move on the other side in just a second. I was wondering why the time was going so fast, but that's why. The 4 moves turned into 3. Here you are there. I luckily figured that out so that we didn't do harder work on one side than the other. Very important, by the way, you probably know this already, but you are stronger on one side than you are on the other. Typically, if you're right-handed, you're stronger on your right-hand side, and that means that the right side absorbs more of your body weight. You work harder with your right side than you do with your left, which means that in this type of workout, the left side might be more difficult. Okay, go ahead and flip the body back over to the other side. Let's do that glute pulse with the right leg and finish off the right butt cheek. All right, I'll give you 5 more seconds to get into position. So just flip your body over like a fish, and now lift the right knee up and pulse in. 30 seconds is going. So when you do single leg, single limb types of moves like these that we've done today, because it's when you're doing the squats and those types of things, you can work both glutes at the same time, but in the interest of forcing the body to be as equal as possible, it's good to do the single leg type movements so that you force the weaker side to do as much as the stronger side does. And it's never going to be a perfect science. It's certainly never going to be the case that you're completely equal. There is lack of symmetry anatomically with your body that you can never change. But you do want to make sure that you don't end up with, you know, chronic sort of pain issues if you have, you know, like a lot of times people have lower back pain on their right side when they're right-handed, or likewise left-handed people end up with lower back pain on their left sides. Simply by virtue of the fact that your effort isn't expended the same way on both sides of the body. Okay, now turn to your back and let's plant your feet on the floor, knees bent. Your feet are about hip width apart, toes and heels in one line. Once again, do not let your toes turn out. Your heels need to be as wide as your toes. So, hands are by your sides. Pick your body up, or pick your hips up, lift your hips up into the air, into a bridge. And hold this. I'm going to start the 30 seconds. You are simply holding this position for 30 seconds. And you're underway now. Remember to keep your toes on the floor. Very easy to let the heels do all the work on this particular move, and that means that you're really absorbing a lot of pressure in your back, and in terms of your legs, your quads take over, and you don't want that to happen. Where you press your toes into the floor, you can actually feel the back of the leg activate. You're coming down to the wire here. Last 5 seconds. And good. Okay. Now, the last move, before we do a couple of ab moves just for fun, is for you to lift those hips back up into the air. You're going to stabilize your body weight on your right leg and lift your left leg up off the floor. Then for 15 seconds, you're going to lower your hips and then pressing your foot into the floor, both your toe and your heel, you're going to lift your hips back up. We call them bridge dips. And we're going to get started right now. So left foot is in the air. Can be anywhere. Doesn't matter the height of the left foot at this point. Just lower your hips. Lift back up. Keep it going. 10 more seconds. Very nice. I like it. All right. 3 seconds. And switch. So now stabilize your weight on your left leg. This will be harder if you're right-handed. And here we go. 15 seconds. Pulse down, press up. Make sure that you're pressing the left toes into the floor to really work the back of the leg. Very good. I know this is hard. It might feel a little crampy even, but you can do this. 3 more seconds. 2 and 1. Good job, good job. Okay, let's do a bicycle crunch. We've got 2 minutes until the 25-minute period is going to end, and that's where I'd like to take you. So go ahead and start your bicycle crunch, where you're bringing your left elbow to your right knee, right elbow to your left knee. Make sure you continue to breathe. Get those shoulder blades up off the floor. 3 seconds. 2, 1. Now with straight legs, curl all the way up. Touch your toes. Little hamstring stretch here. And slowly roll your body back down to the floor. One more time, curl all the way up. And touch your toes. Hold that position for 2 or 3 more seconds. Now sit up straight and roll the body back all the way down. Wonderful. Okay, sit all the way back up one more time. Ambulances in Manhattan. I don't know if you can hear that or not. So you're curled all the way up. Now bring your knees in, heels on the floor, toes up, lean back a little bit, and let's do a Russian twist. Ready? So you're just going to twist to the left, twist to the right, keeping your back straight, keeping your shoulders back. Go ahead and get started. Last 30 seconds. There are also really couple great ways to stretch your glutes, which you should definitely do after you finish up here. Is number one, a pigeon pose, which is kind of like child's pose, only you are going to extend one leg straight back and the other knee is up underneath your body, but you're going to turn your foot up underneath the opposite leg. So let's say we're wanting to stretch the right glute. You bring your right leg up underneath your body and kind of lay down over top of it. So the shin is pointed towards your left leg, and then your left leg's extended back behind you. That's a pigeon pose. And then there's a pretzel stretch that you can do. If you're lying on your back, you cross one leg over and then bring both legs in and hug the back leg in order to stretch the crossed leg, the butt of the crossed leg, that is. Okay, you are set. Russian twist is over. It's been over for a few seconds here, and I'm Kim Watkins from In Shape Fitness. I hope that you feel like you got a good butt workout, that Derriere is going to get stronger by virtue of these moves. Please join me next week for another podcast workout from In Shape Fitness in New York City, and have a wonderful week. Also, don't forget, on Monday we'll start a new series of muscle maintenance. Monday will be the level 1 workout, so join me for that on Monday morning. See you soon. Have a great weekend.